Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another BJ&Co video. Today we're getting our Civ on. Civilization 6 is fairly new, so we're going to pass along some tips and tricks to help you guys out on your gameplay and help, kick all your friends' butts, because multiplayer is where it's at with Civilization. So today we want to talk about founding your first city. This can be a very important decision early game as to how well you can get things rolling, so we want to make sure you guys are making informed decisions and landing in the right spot. We've got a similar one for Civ 5 if you're looking for stuff, but Civ 6 has so many different things that happen within it that we want to make sure you're aware of them and are taking that into consideration as you plant your first city. So first things first, guys, housing is a new mechanic in here which limits your population growth, and housing is influenced by many different things. Right off the bat, it's limited by your freshwater capabilities. There's then different buildings such as the granary that can increase your housing early on. Your housing also increases by building certain improvements, like couple farms will get you an additional housing. And then there's other districts within here, such as the neighborhood and the aqueduct, that can increase your housing capacity as well. But right off the bat, we want you to be keeping in mind that, one settle difference in position can make a huge difference. So a great tool to help with this, in the bottom right, you can kind of see the guide. Red means you can't settle anywhere, it's too close to somebody. No water is anything that's gray. Light green will get you +1 housing, which means a total of 4 housing to start, and that's from coastal waters. And freshwater, which is exactly the best places to settle, it's right beside a freshwater tile, will give you a total of 6 housing. So you're 3 base plus the 3 additional. Now, I've been talking about these colors. Where do you see that? Well, with your first settler, you actually need to go to your lenses here and take a look at settler. And this will bring up those colors I was talking about. So here we've got the bright green, which means we'll be getting 6 housing. The red, where we can't settle. You can also see its keys in the top left. We have no coastal here, but you can see there is some grays. So now housing is basically your population cap. Your population growth slows down significantly once you hit housing that is at the same. So 6 out of 6, it will slow down significantly. You can go higher than that. It is possible, but you want to be able to keep if you want to grow taller, so bigger cities, you're going to want to have lots of housing available. So my suggestion right off the bat is look for places that are bright green. We've got lots of options on this river here, so I think that's good. I probably wouldn't move over to my right one here in this one, just because that's such a loss of housing, but I might jump across the river or move closer to the mountains. So what else do I need to be thinking about? Another good thing to look at is if we go into our map options, you can do the show yield icons. So this is showing you the base yields for these tiles without any improvements. So this can give you an idea of what you might want to settle. So right now, it's looking like these tiles, they're not as nice as some of these 2 4s, 1 2s, 4 2s up on the spices there. So I would probably look more towards trying to utilize these mountains down here than trying to push over to my right hand side. But again, we already talked, I don't really want to be settling straight in here because of the housing issues. Another thing to take into consideration is what luxuries do you have available. These become amenities for you, and you need amenities to keep growing your cities as well. It's like the happiness that you had in Civilization 5, but slightly different. So here I've got ivory for luxury, there's spices for luxury, and we've got bonus resources of bananas and sheep. These are just basically better tiles that you can work, the bonus resources. The important ones are the luxury resources. Last thing to think about is get vision before you plant, for sure. Right now I can't see what's up here. This looks like it might be a hill, and in that case it is. So I always strongly suggest move your warrior first, or your scouting unit, because I can move here and get more vision down this way. I can move here, get some vision up here, and that just helps make a better decision if you have vision. In this situation, I wouldn't move on to the settler. I wouldn't move back down this way because my vision would not be enhanced. I would either go here or here. I am going to lean towards going this direction because it might, if it's good, I might cross the river. So we see another bonus resource, and we see cocoa. So If I plant here, your cities can work tiles out 3 in direction. So I would still have the cocoa in here. From where I'm at, I would have the spices, the sheep, the ivory. I would also get the bananas as well. So I don't see anything, if I move to the right, move to the left, I don't see anything that will change my mind there. Moving to the left would actually lose me the spices. And the spices are a great luxury, plus the fact that that's a beautiful tile, the 4-2, and will just get better with improvements. I want to keep that in my empire. So right now I'm stuck with this is where I want to stay. The last thing that I would think about before making any decisions is, and this is a little bit more on the advanced side, I will link and show you guys a beautiful cheat sheet that has been put together. Iota Fox left it in Reddit, and I'll link to it. I'll also throw it up on the screen here. That kind of gives you some information about district placements, because in this game districts are huge, and having the synergies between districts that will get bonuses from mountains and forests and things are important. I wish I had a better start here that could show you that a move might get you better district locations, but maybe we'll get to that in the next couple. I plan on doing a couple examples. But with district placement, right, you want to make sure you have areas to work things. So, I've got a great spot right down here off the river that could get a beautiful holy site, getting the bonus from the mountains and the forest. I've got areas up here that will likely have some mines on, so we could throw an industrial zone up in the desert and get a nice bonus from the mines. I'm seeing nowhere, like the tile I'm on doesn't give me a super benefit to any of the districts that I can see. So my gut is saying, because all of the luxuries are close by, we don't have vision on anything else that will change, saying there's a better location, we're on fresh water, I would settle right in place with this city. And as you can see, we've got housing capacity of 6, which is exactly what we want. So that's a good start. We'll also notice as we did that we see some stone down here, which is good. That'll be another decent tile for us to work. The bonus resources just mean there's more yield on those tiles, which is great. So that's our first one. Now let's jump in and show you guys a second one. All right, guys, so we're back with our second example, and just going to walk through the decision-making process again. We've got tons of different land here that we can settle on the rivers. If we pull up our settler map again, you can see, look at all this beautiful green that we've got going on. Love it, love it, love it, love it. And again, we're going to show yield icons just so we can avoid, like, I'm not loving this area up to the top left, but also you'll notice there's some tundra down here, which is going to give us, not some amazing yields from that. Warrior wise, again, we want to scout. We might get a little bit more vision there, but I'm leaning towards, this should be a forest hill. No, it's a plains hill. Crap. So I would either move to this hill or to this hill. Tobacco for luxury resources. I'm going to go straight left and see what we get here. So this brings in some very interesting considerations, because where we are at now, we would not be able to build a harbor within our city. So if we want access to a harbor in our first city, we would want to step across the river and plant it so that we could build a harbor somewhere out by the city. And I am very strongly leaning that way, because harbors are important. And the nice thing we could do here with the harbors, and again, reference the cheat sheet that is linked down in the description below, but we could put a harbor, say, if we moved across to in between the warrior and the settler, we'd be able to put a harbor here, because you'd be working 1, 2, 3. So eventually we could put one there. But we could also put a commercial hub right here on this tile that's got a fairly low yield. And the commercial hub will get +2 from the river, as well as +2 from being adjacent to the harbor. So that's a great, that is a beautiful commercial hub that we'd be putting there. So I'm very much leaning towards going there. Now let's talk through, do we move away from anything? If we move over 1, we will actually gain access to the deer tile, which is, free production, nothing to be laughed at. We would not lose the gypsum or the tobacco, by moving over one. So it's not like we're moving away from luxuries. I would be a bit worried if we were. But even in this case, if you moved away from one of the tobacco, it's not the end of the world. But having duplicates is great. It allows you to go help sustain cities over 4 if you've got duplicate luxuries, or you can trade with the other players in the game or the AI to get other luxuries for yourself. So duplicates are always a good thing to have. But yeah, so looking at this, tile yields, we move left. We're getting into a few more hills down here that are 1-2s. There's nothing amazing food tile wise. So it's kind of unfortunate that by moving, we would be moving away from our 2-2 tile to start with. But we can easily get some farms going early on in some of these river tiles to help boost our food production early on. So in this situation, I would say we jump across, and then on our next turn, when we can do it, we will found our city here. I'm just going to grab a little bit more vision before we do that. And yes, that's the coast. So we'll plop it down right here, and we don't see any other information. We did, however, well, not however, but no matter where we are, we also have the citrus in our city, which is kind of nice. So lots of luxuries in our first city off the bat. So that's number 2, and let's go on and let's just talk through a third one here for us. All right, guys, so we are back with one more to check out and just talk through the decision making. This one's a little bit of a more interesting one because we do have a bit more tundra to deal with. So things to think about. Again, let's look at our settler. We want to stay on a river somewhere. I don't think we would want to move all the way to the other river. There is some coastal tiles, but I don't think we'd want to be on coast. And interestingly enough, in Civ 6, with the fact that you have to put the harbor districts down, being on the coast actually puts you a little bit more at risk because your city is less defensible. So being backed off the coast is not necessarily a bad thing at all in this game, which I find very interesting. I love how they've put that together. We're going to bring our yield icons back again and see. Now, luxury-wise, we're a little strapped here. You know, we've only got the jade, which is the one that we can see down below here. We've got some very good bonus resources, and strategic actually this time. We've got the horses shown for us as well. So lots of good food right off the bat. We've got the sheep. Now, I'm not seeing really any good tiles in the water, which is quite interesting. So right now, I'm actually leaning to wanting to move the settler up one along the river and founding the city here. It'll still keep us in range of the jade, but kind of get us further away from having all these single tundra tiles in our city borders. We'll still be in range of all of these luxury resources or strategic resources and bonus resources. And we'll also, by moving one up, get this stone in, which is another bonus resource, so the tile yield's just a little bit better. But what I'm also going to do here, I don't think moving one over is going to get us more vision. So I'm just going to continue on up along this river with my warrior and see if we see anything more interesting. Nothing really. Just some forests and stuff. But, you know, forests can have help on holy sites or neighborhoods in terms of districts. There's a beautiful tile here that could work great for planting a district on, be it the holy site or the neighborhood. The holy site would get +1 faith for being by 2 forests. Neighborhood would get the +2 from being beside 2 forests. So that would be very beneficial late game. Now, neighborhood's not an earlier district, but it's still important. So yeah, I'm very much leaning. We get the extra bonus resource by moving here. It gets us a little bit more defensible off the coast. Now, this city is pretty defensible even if we settle right here because of the 2 tiles. But all of these tiles out here are pretty useless to us. There's nothing. You wouldn't be building fishing boats on them. It's very rare that you'd be going very hard towards making these tiles helpful for us. So by moving one in, we lose 2 tiles from the sea and gains us 2 more land tiles, which gives us more options in terms of planting districts down the line. So definitely we're going to move there. Going to have to go to the next turn. You can see we've seen more desert, and you know, it's not bad. We could possibly have a chance at getting Petra, make these tiles a little bit better. But again, let's see what else we got. Okay, nothing that will actually help this city settle itself, but I like this defensible position off of the water, getting all these resources. It's going to take a while to grow out or buy out to our luxury, But we've also got some very wonderful starting tiles with this food and production. I would push towards getting animal husbandry going right away and building pastures on these, because these will be some of the very first tiles that you'll work. The food will keep your growth going and you'll be getting production at the same time. And I would likely lean towards trying to pick up the sheep as our third tile there. So lots of good tiles here that will work on both food and production. So that is kind of my thought process as I go through trying to plant these best cities to get myself a strong starting point. I'm a very big proponent to, if you can make a short move to get a better positioning, do it. One turn is not going to kill you. I know there's some people who are always settle in place, settle in place, settle in place. But I find having the accessibility to more tiles can very much help you long term if you just have more tiles to work as your cities grow. Growth is less of an issue in Civ 6 than Civ 5. Civ 5 growing tall is very, very strong, where Civ 6 wider tends to be more of a thing. But I still find I'm getting lots of cities that are getting very easily into the double digits with population, which you need a lot of tiles to work that, especially once you start putting districts down as they take up tiles. So that is what to think about as you're settling a city. I hope you found this helpful. If there's things that you think about when you're doing this, I'd love to hear it down below. You know, what process goes through your head as you're settling here? Would you settle in different places on the ones that we've looked at? Keep in mind, I am trying to settle within the first 2 or 3 turns. I don't want to be moving too far away. But we can always think about, like, I would probably have a second settle somewhere up by this wheat here in this one. But that's for another video talking about expansions. What we will do right now, guys, though, is jump on over to our cheat sheet that I was talking about that we have posted over on Reddit. So here, like I said, I would have Fox posted this in the Civ 6. No, this is the Civ Reddit. And in here, it is a wonderful cheat sheet on the different districts and what helps the placement of them to help you plan it out. This is, again, more longer term, but it's kind of neat to have this in your mind. We've got here the legend up in the top left. Districts are the things with the shadows. Non-districts just have the dotted lines. This shows that you can get great people from it. This shows that you get a trade route. Positive appeal, which helps with tourism. Same with the negative appeal. That's, again, more of a late gate win condition. And then friendly gives you the +1 bonus for every 2 adjacent districts, which is always nice. You'll notice that all of these, you know, the Holy Site Live, Campus, Amphitheater, Workshop, Commercial Hub, and Harbor all get the friendly bonus. So putting them beside other districts helps quite a bit. We'll also notice the, well, just take a look at it. It's separated by faith, science, culture, production, gold, and housing. And you can see which things help to put it down. Because, you know, you put something down, you go to look at it, and it tells you how much it's getting, like +2 to put this holy site down on this tile and 0 on this tile. But here's a way to help plan. So the holy sites get helped with natural wonders, mountains, and forests. Campuses get mountains and rainforest benefits. The amphitheater gets the man-made wonder benefits. Workshops are benefited by mines and quarries. The harbor is benefited by the coastal resources. The commercial hub is benefited by being by a river and by a harbor. And the city center gets benefits from being either on the coast or next to a river, like we talked about for the initial settle. Neighborhoods get benefits from being by coasts, forests, and natural wonders. Aqueducts need to be between a city center and mountains, lakes, oases, or river borders. And then the other ones, the encampments, entertainment complex, aerodrome, and spaceport, have no benefits whatsoever. No benefit to be beside other districts on their end, but they can still help other districts gain those benefits. So kind of just something to think in mind, stuff you can help you with. I could probably spend 5 hours talking to you guys about Civ 6 stuff, but we'll save that for a different video. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, don't forget to smash that like button. You can subscribe to the channel for updates of when our new content goes live. I plan on being back with more Civ 6 videos for you. The wonderful thing, if there's topics that you are interested in or more information you would like regarding Civ 6, throw it down in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you guys are trying to figure out, And it gives me kind of things that I can try to figure out for you, or might already know the answer and can share the knowledge with you. So, as always, if you want to check us out on your favorite social medias, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Tumblr, Reddit, Vote, Instagram, Snapchat, all those fun places, we have a presence out there. We always love saying hi to our viewers, so stop by, say hi, give Savvy a hard time for me, because it sucks being the only one that does that. We'd love to see you around. And yeah, thank you very much for watching, everybody, and we'll see you all next time.